paid square. We all take the stoppies, the haircuts and the grays, and we really scheme it slacker when we start on our first phase. For the motors. It's a long way to Mukumbura. It's a long way to Joe. It's a long way from your hometown, but you can have yourselves a ball with your muckers. Goodbye, Bulawayo. Don't see says on square. It's a long, long way to Mukumbura, and we're going up there to stir. It's a long way to Jokinyanga. It's a long way, it's a long way from Umtali, but it's white tar all the way. Well, nearly. Goodbye to the Cecil. Hello, the Montclair. It's a long, long way to Jokinyanga, and the drought is biting there.
Right, good evening everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Trying something a little different out tonight. We've got a Guerrilla hobby stream. And this is also gonna be a test of my hobby streaming setup. First time trying it out here, but I was able to fit the mic, stand, the camera, the laptop all on the workbench and still have room for working with the hobby stuff here. So without further ado, tonight working on some Italeri US Infantry 90s in 172. Now, 172 is a scale that you don't see pop up a lot in mainstream gaming. 172 figures tend to be pretty cheap, injection molded plastic, and usually in various historical periods because the injection molding tooling is fairly pricey. So unless you're targeting a large market like historicals or have an incredibly strong IP such as Warhammer, most companies aren't going to spring for injection molded plastic. That's why you see a lot of big companies either go for 28 or 30 millimeter, where they can do the injection molded plastic and charge you a ton for it, or they go a little smaller and go 15 millimeter. And you're starting to see some plastics in 15 millimeter thanks to advances in the tech on 3D printing, but a lot of 15 millimeter is still pewter, and pewter has a much lower upfront cost for the producer, which is why all sorts of cool little indie companies tend to go 15. So 172 is kind of in the middle there. And so, like I said, mostly you see historical stuff here. There's a few fantasy lines and a very few sci-fi lines, and some of the sci-fi lines are in pewter, which again, pewter's more expensive on the consumer end, so those aren't super widespread, and most of them are pretty old. I can't think of any modern production techniques being used for 172 sci-fi. But Jeffro Johnson over in the BroSR has recently got into miniature gaming for the first time, which makes me very happy. It's fun to see an outsider come into the hobby and shake things up, much as he did to D&D. And so he's been going for more of a historical fantasy bent, but for all the reasons I just outlined why 172 is not super widespread in fantasy and sci-fi gaming, that is precisely why he chose the scale. He wanted something that was not associated with any of the big IPs out there, which works, but the downside for picking a scale specifically for its gatekeeping qualities is that it will also gatekeep out companies from producing things in certain genres. So, all this to say, tonight, we're going to see if we can solve the dearth of sci-fi options in 172 by taking these 1990s US infantry and turning them into 2090s or even 2190s sci-fi infantry with simple hobby supplies here. So I've got a couple ideas of where to start, but if you'll see in the pinned message, use hashtag Miliardo72 on Twitter and just tag that for photos of anything you want me to use. So, tools we got with us, we got using green stuff, glue, and I left it on the other side of the room. Give me a minute. Couple different gauges of piano wire, which is super versatile at a lot of scales. Dry brushes really well, has a nice texture to it, and can be used for everything from antennas to ray guns. And then I've also got just a box of random bits as well I might dig into. But we're going as much as possible. I want to make this a got some plastic card around here too. I'm trying to keep this a simple conversion options for anyone that wants to use 172 for some sci-fi gaming. Also, thank you to Lo-Fi Geek for his royalty-free, Susan-proof BGM. Is the BGM coming through okay? If it's not, let me know. I can crank it up a little. Never used these before. I haven't done a lot with 172. Honestly, I don't really know what the good brands or the bad brands are. This is just what my hobby shop had. So, let's see what we've got. Nice, all one piece. That will make this a lot easier. Right. Actually, pretty pleased with the guys on this side have a little bit more flash, but pretty flash free. All right, let's see. Let's just start with a guy kneeling and shooting. I said I had some ideas for these guys. I was half telling the truth. Kind of just I'm stalling a bit while I scrape these mold lines off to think about where I want to start with this guy. But I think start with a we'll use some piano wire, because like honestly, depending on the kind of future setting you're trying to represent, you know, like MS-16's already been around, what, 60-ish years. I'm sure we'll still be using a design like that 60 years from now. I mean, they were using a 19th century cannon on a technical in Syria I saw the other day, so if you're just going near future, like, you really don't need to convert a whole lot. Probably just paint a newer camo scheme on it if you want. Paint the weapon shiny if you want. But flimsy, as you can see. This is a pretty accurately scaled M16. There's not a lot of plastic there. Compared, for example, to... Here's a 15mm power armor guy from a regular. You can see the proportions between 15 and 172 are much different. This is something I like about 15. It reminds me of SNES game, like chibi sprite proportions. And the advantage of heroic scale, and the reason a lot of companies like it, in addition to it looking distinct, is that it's much easier. Got my workspace about 80% set up from where I actually need it to be. Oh shoot, stream disconnected. Alright, I got the green block on OBS again. How's it coming through? I see blue plant. Alright, I think it's connecting in. This is what I get for trying to stream this thing in 1080. But are we live again? It went back to orange. That's in the green. What do you have to say, chat? Are you able to see it on your end? Alright. YouTube's telling me I got a good connection again. That's telling me the audio is repeating though. Oh, I know why that is. Probably because I'm not listening with headphones and relying on my noise gates to stop the audio from bleeding through the mic, along with the giant foam shield. I've turned it down. Alright. Let's see. Yes, I was nerding out about heroic versus realistic scales. Point is, I'm probably not going to use the super thin piano wire unless I'm trying to coil it around something. Probably going to go with the old string here. Let's not use the Tamiya clippers on that. Let's burn the Hobby Lobby clippers. The audio is still repeating. Here with plasma yellow. So, trim the top of the sight post off here ever so carefully. The old M16s look so cool. Feel kind of bad doing this to it. About there. Always trim it down lower later. Oh yeah, if you're playing my video twice, you will get some audio issues from that. Alright. I'm thinking we'll purchase some peanut wire on top of the gun there. Give it a little coil for some 40K plasma gun effect. Which, if we're gonna do that, something else you can do. Easy trick to make your weapon appear more futuristic is chop off the magazine. And then assume the battery's in the stock or something. That magazine is molded onto his arm, so we gotta make 2 cuts here. Gotta look into if there's a way to get this thing to focus smartly on small objects for me. I would have had to do with this with a knife back in the day, and now I discovered the good plastic nippers. There's a lot you can do with them. Finish with them. Yeah, we'll have to shave that off his arm there. A softer plastic, which makes this, well, easier to shave, but as you can see, if you miss there, you're gonna take off more than you want. Shaw, welcome. Yes, please crack a beer. Drink one for me, since I'm not gonna drink an X-Acto knife at the same time. Stabbed myself too many times. I think that is I think that's going to be clean enough. I'll rely on paint to cover the rest. Alright, so we've taken the mag off because this thing doesn't shoot bullets. And then we're going to glue piano wire on top. But before I do that, I think we're also going to give this guy visor. And JD was asking for spaceborne infantry. I should think of a way to put a good little neon style RNA system on his back. Let's look in the box of bits. Ooh. That's left over from a curse on powered armor. That's going to be a bit too big for him. I think we'll green stuff this one. That'll make it replicable for anyone following along at home. So, just because the rifle sits in front of his face there, we'll work on visor, do more stuff on it. Don't really want to use the good hobby knife on green stuff. Molding this together. I'll go see if anyone's dropped anything in the hashtag. How's everybody else's weekend been going? Or, sorry, week. Almost the weekend. Not there quite yet. Also, has anyone else listening in tried something like this before? I would love to see pictures of other 172 sci-fi conversions if you got them. Also, for anyone that's never worked with green stuff before, you want it you get to a nice uniform color before you work with it. And so this is probably from where the yellow and the blue were sitting next to each other in the packaging. But if you find areas where it's not all mixed together, you want to make sure that gets mixed in, or if it starts to turn into like a already hardened knot, just throw that part out of your batch, because if you're doing detail work. If you're not doing detail work and it's buried somewhere underneath all the stuff that hardens properly, it's not too bad. But if you're doing detail work and you don't have a lot of depth to work with, you don't really want that piece. Here. Yeah. Put that one to the side. Maybe we'll use it near the base of the backpack. Stuff is like working chewing gum. Alright, that's more than enough for the visor. Give it a simple blob. Oh, shoot you, if you're having trouble finding green stuff, some Hobby Lobbies and a couple other stores will carry Milliput, which is basically the same thing. It's just like a grayish tan off-white, depending on the kind you get. I found the super fine stuff isn't good for my sculpting needs because it's too soft and takes detail too well, but like the standard Milliput is basically identical to green stuff, and actually it's usually a bit cheaper too. That might be even too big. We'll see. I don't know, it's just an Among Us. Kind of tucking it underneath the there. I've heard it was actually because of the mold making technology they had at the time, why the original Space Marines were the Beaky Boys, but also it's pretty easy to sculpt off of like a normal dude as a base. It's just making a beak form. That's not what I'm going for here, but as you can see, it naturally, the beak is the natural evolution of sticking a blob onto somebody's face. So actually, that's kind of cool looking. Get it to focus on him. Spaceman helmet. You know what? I'm doing a bunch of these. Maybe we'll leave this guy beaky. It's the natural progression. Spaceman hungers for the beaky helmet. Separation. Oh yeah, shoulder pauldrons, that's another good bit of sci-fi costuming that you don't generally see in real life right now, just because we don't have anything light enough, and it would also interfere with putting backpacks and main packs on and off if you're trying to get those straps over some massive football shoulders. Yeah, we're gonna run with the beaky means. I'm a little archaic here. Granted, a lot of this archaic stuff, 172 is cheap enough. You could just buy a box of pick your historical period and do some head swaps. So I don't know if I would do a whole army this way. But this is about experimentation. Crest there, that'll be a good place you can put some color on later. Nice thing with green stuff at this size is you can, like, real gentle, I just lick my finger and real gentle tapping motion on it. Get it in the shape you want. Alright, let's see, what do we next? It's always a temptation to over-design things and think about some of the iconic designs in sci-fi. Not visually busy, like stormtroopers, all one color. Basically all of the detail is in their skull helmet, and nothing else on them distracts from that. Cylons, same thing. They go for the iconic helmet and then a pretty simple body just in silver and black. Darth Vader, again, like a very subdued design overall. You got the Stahlhelm Samurai skull mashup in the head. Some cool gribblies on his chest, and then everything else black. They do a little bit of stuff with texturing in there, but like and this holds true for minis as well, like a good, when you think about how far away you're going to be from these things when you see them, actually kind of like, I got this guy right now, like a good silhouette and some simple color choices really can make things pop. Grab that 15mm guy again. Like, I ended up putting the white trim on. I was trying to recreate a piece of art in Rogue Trader that has a black and white checker pattern, but figured 15 was too small. That a checker pattern at that scale would just look like a sloppy paint job. So I just went with white instead of white and black. but just hitting the edges there really makes it pop. And just a few key extra colors: red for the visor, gold for the weapon, and then the armor is a it was actually blue and red dry brushed, and then I put a green contrast wash over it, over the metallics. I really like how these guys came out. This is one of the favorite projects I've done recently. But yeah, so back to this guy. Don't want to go overboard, so super glue. Good super. Doing more gunpla than minis recently. I've got all the plastic cement handy. Where did I put the super glue? There you are. Guerrilla Stream gets Gorilla Glue. Oh, and this is what the standard milliput looks like. And look, yeah, they keep the two parts separately wrapped, so you don't lose any when it's just sitting around in your packaging. It's kind of hilarious how some of the these big small toy companies, the sci-fi and fantasy big IPs and Army Finger and other companies kind of just flat out ignore some best practices that have been developed in the hobby before they came along, like not selling your product already mixed together. Alright, glue the weapon on and we'll work on the backpack. Drop. Get a little bit of working time, probably not terribly long. Yeah, I've tried a bunch of different glues. I've been doing this for over a decade and a half. Tried a lot of different glues. And for super glue, I like Guerrilla. I found it's pretty easy to control the flow rate. For gunpla, I've just been using Tamiya with the brush, but the application requirements are a little different there. Trying to scooch this into a position that looks good for me. I didn't shave down the grip, so it's a little slanty, but I don't think it's really going to be that noticeable from the tabletop. If anything, I maybe should have shaved the tops of his fingers off to create a flatter thing to glue this onto, but you know, we'll do that. Little shaving there to get flat for it to sit on. I'm gonna glue this to myself. Alright. Maybe I should use always green stuff on, reinforce it. The metallic glue tubes, are you talking about the tester's glues that come in the metal bottles? Fan of that design. What? I want to apply pressure. The nippers. Finest. Canvas last word. Print sheet slightly. A little bit of green stuff on one ends. Yeah, I have a little burr sticking out anyway. Rolling it on there. Yeah, I think you're thinking of I think that's the old tester's glue there. Yeah, like the toothpaste tubes. This flat here, trying not to get it mixed in with the beak. There we go. Got that looking good from all angles. Pretty distinct. Striking. Oh yeah, they probably weren't selling it with specifically with hobbyist modeling in mind. I forgot there. It's cool. There's a international audience for flavors, so. I should not assume everybody's got access to Hobby Lobby. But if you can find Milliput, we recommend it. Alright, so between the beak and the helmet and the gun, the front side looks pretty futuristic. The crest helps with the back as well. Well, let's see if we can. Actually, these little hard blobs can be here. I mean, shoot, you got a 3D printer, then well, at that point you can probably just go on Shapeways and find some 172 sci-fi or something that can be scaled down to 172, but that opens even more conversion possibilities here. Making a slab, detail it from there. Fun thing with the smaller minis and doing conversion work, a lot of times it doesn't need to be complicated. At first you can just start by making a blob over the area that you want to be covered by the thing. You got plenty of working time with green stuff to then go and add the detail that you want there. For smoothing it out, I just use, you know, bit tools and actually I need to try this out. This is I think this was designed for oil paints, like a silicone brush. I wanted to see if it was any good for green stuff. Yeah, it's alright at it. On the backpack. Now, take our unwanted blobs from earlier. Perch them up top here. Rockets. Little, well, I won't say it. I don't want Susan to strike us, but there's a, it's a water molecule. Make a water molecule jetpack here. I'll tap them in a little. Jetpack there. And at the risk of over designing a little, sometimes you want to ask yourself, is this something I feel like doing, depending on how big your army is? Like, how many times do I want to repeat
process. Could put a little dozer in. You could do a hole around them like a belt. Alright. Bolts. Doesn't have to be complicated to look good from a distance. Something to give you some raised and lowered edges there to take ink and dry brushing. Got a little bit of going through. Not really sure what I'm doing, but drop my piano wire. There we go. Keeps wanting to turn sideways before it wants to let itself be bent more.
evens. Put it on there. Lines there. I think we'll call rounds complete on that guy. First dude. Here's Brett. Shall we try next? One's dropped. Suggestions. I'll come up with something. Right. So I'll try something a little more near future, less ostentatious than a beaky for the next one. Let's see, who do we want here? Here we go. Go with this guy running. Standing and shooting down. Good toes. Clean up. So how does the video quality look at the viewer end? Like, is this all just a bunch of blurry moving hands and knives here? To me, it looks like this is about the happy place where it likes to pop into focus. But I've been looking more at the model and less at the preview. Good evening, Arisu, and welcome. Oh, that's not a wood line, that's his collar. All right. So for this one, we'll go Do sculpted visor. And maybe a little harder sci-fi looking backpack. Actually, I like that, then idea. We're gonna take that same kind of bend shape on this guy. That's just gonna be really most of the backpack. He's gonna have like a Y-rack jetpack. Might be a bomb launcher. Although actually, here's another regular mini. And they do these cool circular design backpacks here with an antenna of what I'm almost certain probably an even thicker gauge of wire of some kind during the sculpting. These guys I've just been painting up as straight up as stormtroopers. But cool, unique backpack design there. So we might steal that. Yeah, I'll do the Y-rack. Opening tool here to get a and yeah, wider works good. Oh yeah, the old load bearing gear. Just last night, I picked up more of the got more of the Flashpoint pouches for the German LKS system, and threw together quite the LBV with it, and then started stuffing it full of camping gear to see how much sustainment could fit in there. I'd like to see if I could take it for like on my 24 hours worth of camping, just what I can fit on the LBV. No assault pack. I've got there's two large pouches that go on the back that serve a similar function, but I want to see if you can live for a day just out of an LBV. Maybe a little fight on one side, but I can always trim. Two emeries, one Wonder Bar, or like 20 sticks of butter. Either put it mounted on top there. That'll stick up nicely. We'll give him that. If we weren't giving him that, it'd be fun to stick an antenna on the helmet for one of these guys, but I think it would be too much stuff coming off the top of the model at bad angles to each other based off his pose. I think we'll go with the Y-rack for maneuvering. I think I'll leave the M16 untouched in this case because we're going more for near future. Use the piano wire to give it a M203 looking thing.
And a little flash off there while I'm thinking.
Butter is so calorie dense. It was not Chaplain's expedition. They were living off of penguins and seals, but there were some cold weather expeditions where they found that the most calorie dense food they could pack in the most quantity to get them through it was just butter. Putting it in their soups or just eating it straight. Doctor knows what's up. Olamay knows what's up. The smaller pouch, or the large pouch I reviewed a couple days ago, though, you can fit a jet boil or one of those Esbit camping stoves in there, along with the old 1-quart square canteens and like 2 canned goods. You can think about the size that takes up. I've got 2 of those on the back of that thing now, so I can put like a good amount of food and water in one, and then like sleeping and shelter supplies in the other, and then distribute the other various goods along the belt. Probably gonna not use the mag pouches for simulated going to woods, so those wouldn't be usable because they would need to have mags in them. So basically got the 2 large packs on it, 2 of the large canteen bags, 1 of the e-tool holders, which I'm actually using to hold a US style canteen, and then 1 of the mag pouches will be used as like a radio compass pouch. I haven't found an actual radio pouch with the German LKS system. So welcome FlaVR #1 fan account. Oh, thank you for being here, #1 fan. That's right, we're doing conversions tonight. Going, this guy right now, we're going for more of a nearest future Gundam kind of vibe. Oh yeah, remind me at the end I can do some size comparison with other stuff, since these guys are twice the scale that high-grade Gundam kits are made at. I mean, you can use them together, it just makes the Gundams a lot smaller than canonically. I wonder that visor. Like just over the face. Wrapped around the base there. Got a antenna mustache. Alright, don't need nearly as much green stuff for this one. That's about equal. It's okay if you have a little bit more blue than yellow. The blue is what causes it to harden, so at worst you just get something that's a little stiffer and harder to mold. Whereas if you have too much yellow, then it just doesn't harden and kind of sits there. Yeah, here, actually, I'll get Gundam in frame while I'm working with the green stuff here. So, Gundam's 1/144 scale. $172. This is gonna reduce the Gundam down to half the size, but I mean, it's still, you could still sit a man in that cockpit. There's just a little less padding and armor between him and the outside world. Size references there. Zaku. Need half of this for the visor. Their half should be rack. Visor is just really supposed to be flush with the helmet, so it really does not need to be that big at all. Just enough. And this is where you get the Among Us design from, to the natural state of the spaceman. Stick a blob on his face. Starts as Among Us, and then he wants to turn into a beaky. You gotta work to make him something different. Really here, just pinch it down, tuck it under the helmet a little. I'm not really too worried about wrapping around back behind his head, because I'll just paint the back of his head as though it's part of the spacesuit. Really just want to make sure you got a good smooth visor. Little crooked if you look at him head on, but yeah, visor on the front. I wonder if there's a right kind of glue or epoxy you could get that you could just like paint it and then like put a blob on its face that would harden in a translucent fashion. A little bit blue.
Then I have to wrap the ends first. Probably should have wrapped it and then just attached it with the green stuff. It got a little crooked. Start over. Yeah, blue's not unnecessary since I've got the stuff on this anyway, so. Cool. There. Wrapping it presents its own challenge here. Always let it dry like that and then glue the backpack on.
Which actually, if I were doing a bunch this way, that would be one strategy. Would be make a bunch of backpacks separately, let them all cure, put them on.
The sculpting on does let you get it nice and flush.
sensible angle the jet's pointed away at. Is from the front there, Gundam style spaceborne infantry. On the back it attaches to this. Let him here standing up. I got a little pushed. All right. Well, chat, what do you think so far? Any ideas you'd like to see me try out? Done one. Oh, never mind. I was muted. Thank you. Oh, I know what it was. It's because I typed something and I forgot I set up a mute hotkey on my keyboard. Good catch. Thank you. Yeah, there we go now. It's got like a giant gas mask. I didn't get the glue anywhere where I actually needed it on the back here. I was in a trance state of concentration, but I was also rambling about Legos. Yeah, because this is reminding me of the old Aquazone look. The tubes, and we'll turn this into a big old pack on his back and a visor, or a highly dangerous, and not sure why they built them as the same system, but got a gas mask or a breathing apparatus on the front that just comes back into two jets on the back. Actually, that's a kind of like that. That is, it looks very pulpy. Except now I just smeared glue all over his back. That's alright, it'll buff out, paint will cover it. Yeah, I like that. We'll go with the Soldier of the Future. Got his jump jets attached to his altitude breathing apparatus. Give him let that sit for a minute and think. Do with the weapon. Oh, if we're going for Soldier of the Future, the weapon clearly needs to be personal size, have a personal size nuclear rifle grenade on it. Oh, evening, Liv. I'm doing well. Haven't messed around with the minis in a while, so this is pretty fun. And it's always, this project is really just a project for the project's sake, to see what I can do, so I don't need to worry about whether what I'm building plays well with the game I already have or fits in with an army I've already got. I can do whatever I want with these guys. Let's see. We'll look. Yeah, I think we put a big old nuclear rifle grenade on the end there. Don't really need to give him a visor now because so much of his face is covered by the tube. Maybe put a tank on his back after that glue blob is out of the way, but I don't know that he really needs it. Just a pinch of green stuff. Just exactly, Davy Crockett. Thank you. I was trying to remember the name of that one. Man, I've got that photo saved somewhere of the future battlefield soldier. He's got like the NBC around, the giant like cicada mask, gas mask with the giant goggles so he doesn't get blinded. Actually, one of the most hilarious weapons I saw at the U.S. Air Force Museum last time I was there. There was a unguided nuclear rocket that was designed for air-to-air combat to take out formations of enemy bombers. And I just love that there was a period where we were designing direct fire unguided nuclear weapons. Oh, it's awesome. It's like... Dude, the thing had to be at least like 6 feet long and, you know, super chubby. Added too much blue stuff. I mean, if you're the only humans on that planet, and the rest is all hostile aliens, like, don't hit your buddy, right? We can terraform the damage out later, after we've cleared the place. I do actually have an idea for I don't know if I want to use it for a game or a story or just a setting I'm kicking around, where the old loop gun from Vietnam, the 40mm single-shot breech-loading grenade launcher, makes a comeback as the space exploration weapon of choice because of all how versatile it is and how many different kind of specialized grenades they can make for different environments and enemies. The main reason I want to do this is so that I can call it Blooper Troopers. But I do like the idea of a bunch of guys running around in 0G just lobbing grenades. Yeah, that's what you'll be the first of the Blooper Troopers. Actually, do any of these guys come with the... I mean, shoot, that weapon still got used in Iraq and Afghanistan, from what I hear, is such a good gear. Now we got M60s, Dragons, these, no bloop. Retro Future. Oh yeah, where we take all of Von Braun's advice and get the space station up and running way sooner. Curiosity, when I'm not talking, does the mic actually pick up all of the tool and packaging sounds, or is my noise suppression just completely killing that? Because I like the idea that if I'm not talking, you're at least getting the old, I guess it'd be called ASMR nowadays, but you know, just the satisfying sound of like, oh, when I was ages ago, I was security in an art museum, and in one of the rooms they had a bunch of wood carved stuff, and they had a video that played there of the master wood carver working on carving this detailed design. It was one of the best rooms to stand for an hour in, because you just had these beautiful sounds of wood carving playing in the background. It was super relaxing. Noise suppression is strong. Probably good. I got a fan running back here. Is it cutting off? Am I like cutting in and out voice wise? It was dangerous, especially if you sat down on there listening to the wood carving. Passed right out. Fantastic voice comes through that. Oh, there's a good little pocket nuke. The smallest of the family atomics. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. That. Oh, I just realized this guy's got his sleeves rolled up. Gonna get a little sunburned, I think. Now, that's something you can also solve with paint. It's alright, they space hardened his body. Not sure why this glue is having such a to avoid. Put the glue on the wrong thing. There we go. Got some sweet antenna now. Like a grasshopper man. Is a nuclear jumping grasshopper man. Nuclear locust. Ready to lay down a belt of cobalt all the way across the North Korea-China border. Oh yeah, this came out awesome. I really like this. That's cool. I have to do more of these guys. That's end on a high note, they say. I think that's a good stopping point for tonight. Been going shoot almost 2 hours now. I'll make sure I can focus for you guys. Two types of wire. That was E4th and E1st wire. A little bit of green stuff. There you go. Add the nuclear locust, the not a Xeon space infantry, and our crested beaky backpack plasma rifleman. Definitely working on the other 47 of these. Don't know if I'll stream each and every one of them, but the pictures will definitely be posted. Konnichiwa to you too, House Draconis. Oh, fantastic. A realm's length worth of streaming. That's a good time to hit. But I'll definitely be posting pictures, especially as I paint these guys, get them all based up. The Miliardo72 hashtag remains open for suggestions as I work my way through these. And yeah, anything else you'd like to see, miniature hobby or otherwise, hit me up on Twitter or drop it in the comments here. Thank you all for coming here tonight. Thank you to anyone that's watching the VOD later on. I'm not sure what all parts got skipped over by the internet acting scuffed or were accidentally muted by myself typing and forgetting the hotkey set. But thank you all for coming by. Hope you all enjoyed it. Have a good night.
The story of Rhodesia, a land both fair and great. On the 11th of November, an independent state. This was much against the wishes of certain governments, whose leaders tried to break us down and make us all repent. But we're all Rhodesians and we'll fight through thick and thin. We'll keep our land a free land, stop the enemy coming in. We'll keep them north of the Zambezi till that river's running dry. And this mighty land will prosper, for Rhodesians never die. They can send their men to murder, and they can shout their words of hate. But the cost of keeping this land free can never be too great. For our men and boys are fighting for the things that they hold dear. And this land and all its people will never disappear. 'Cause we're all Rhodesians and we'll fight through thick and thin. We'll keep our land a free land, stop the enemy coming in. We'll keep them north of the Zambezi till that river's running dry. This mighty land will prosper, for Rhodesians never die.